Last but not least, we have a very special presentation by two persons. The first person, you already met her yesterday. She is Sabine Biesheuvel from Blue City, Rotterdam. And he's here together with Antti Rantanen from Avanto Ventures. And they will discuss modern-day activism within the circular economy. And when I was discussing the presentation with Antti, and I was asking him, what do you want us to remember? What's your, what's the main message? And he would say to me, and he said to me, well, this isn't easy. This isn't easy. And we'll be discussing all the solutions. So opportunities are there, solutions are there. So take your best network partners, because if it's not easy for you, it's easier when you have somebody to work with. So please welcome Sabine and Antti.
Yep. Do you have the clicker?
Hello? Hello? Good? Everyone hear me? So my name is Antti Rantanen. I'm one of the founders of Avanto Ventures, and I run our European office in the Netherlands right now. And we currently have a accelerator, I guess you could say, or kind of a venture accelerator called Loop Ventures, where we do circular economy ventures for corporations. And that's why I know that circular economy is actually not very easy. It's very difficult.
Biesheuvel. I'm one of the co-founders and managing director of Blue City in Rotterdam. And we'll tell you a bit more about the modern day activism. And this starts with, this is a picture of how normally a circular strategy starts. So we are focused on Rotterdam, and this is the metabolic picture of Rotterdam. So this is basically our challenge in terms of waste flow. So this is a picture actually stating what the waste flows are. And the ambition of the city is to be without waste in 2050. Whatever that may mean. But basically what it comes down to then afterwards.
And this is usually where guys like me come in. I've been a management consultant for 20 years. We love doing white papers. We love calculating how could a fast-moving goods company be fully circular by 2024. And then when you actually ask their executives what does fully circular mean, they actually don't have a clue. Because I don't think any company can be fully circular, but right now, circular economy themes are being used in pretty much all the press releases. You can't read a kind of executive summary of a quarterly report without stating their circular goals. But very few companies actually, and very few people realize how complicated the full ecosystem is and how you actually can get the different parts of the supply chain to work together to actually bring back some of those resources that were originally used.
So, then, where to start? Well, this is where we started. You're looking at a former water park in the city center of Rotterdam, right next to the Mews. And it stood abandoned for about 5 years. And we bought it. And because we said, with help of an impact investor, he invested first 1.7 million and now over 4 million in the circular renovation of the building. Because we needed a circular landmark in the city center. So the first thing the municipality asked us, and when we discussed our plans with them, they asked us, this is a great idea, but why don't start in the port? But that's way out of the city, and we needed like a landmark, because what we wanted to do is to create a platform for circular entrepreneurs. So we believe that the solution to getting started in the circular economy is to accelerate entrepreneurship. So, and why? Well, this is best explained by our impact investor who bought the building. He says, entrepreneurs are the ones that continuously overestimate themselves and structurally underestimate the task ahead. And this is my biggest advice for a complex issue such as circular economy, is that don't over-strategize. So this is my first advice to you, is like, don't write reports, don't just only organize conferences to talk about the issue, but just start, just go ahead. And this is actually basically what entrepreneurs do all the time. They just start
That's actually
somewhere.
kind of what we've done with Loop Ventures as well. It's just that we bring in the C word into which you guys hate, which is the corporates.
Yeah.
Because we believe that corporates can actually scale some of these. I mean, corporates are very famous for over-strategizing, overdoing it, but with Loop Ventures, we try to take those startups, take that entrepreneurial spirit, and then use the scale of the corporates to really accelerate those ideas.
Yeah. Because we know how important skill is by now. So what we did is we just started. So what we did is we started with the circular renovation of the building and thereby experimenting with circular building, but also with scaling. And what you see is that you still need a lot of corporates to actually scale the circular economy. You also need legislation and a lot of things. So what we did is the entire building consists of several parts. It's a water park, but also a discotheque. So this is where we started, is the circular transformation of the discotheque, where we experiment with the usage as well, with circular facility management. We created a laboratory and a space for new materials. So as we say, there's a weird incentive within the circular economy that if you become really well at upcycling or recycling a specific product, you give an incentive to the original product to maintain that product. So this is why we need new materials and why the bio-based circle of the circular economy is so important. So here is what we say, here we grow the future. We create circular production spaces, so a lot of the companies that are circular deal with real materials and primary resources. So
like
this
beer.
is what we're trying to change. Like beer,
Yeah,
very
they
important.
make circular beer there.
Yeah, everything starts with beer.
Always.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the entrepreneurs is fruit leather. What they do is they take discarded mangoes and turn it into leather. And they're one of the guys that are in the building. We experiment with zero waste events and circular catering, and we invite our partners and the corporates as well to join us. I'll tell a bit more about that later. And this is the event space that we're going to build later on. So these are the plans. We're now at 40%, so we've existed for 4 years. We kind of developed the building for over 40% right now. And we already have 30 plus circular entrepreneurs in the building. And what we do, and this is the like as well with the circular entrepreneurs and the movement that we're trying to create is we bought this idiot building to show that if we can circularly renovate it there, like this weird building that nobody wanted, you can do it anywhere. That's
Have you guys had any challenges with the reconstruction?
Yeah, we had a lot of challenges.
It hasn't been very easy, has it?
No, it hasn't been very easy.
Yeah,
So
and a lot of surprises.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why it's still very hard to compete with business as usual.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of improvising.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why we say at this point it makes no sense to strategize and to start, because when you start you're gonna fail anyway. So
yeah. And that's why, I mean, like we've seen a lot of these circular economy initiatives around Europe, and we think that Blue City is one of the most interesting one there is. And if you look at the way your corporate partnerships have gone, none of them have worked, have they?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because they've all basically come there and said that, hey, you know, we want to kind of see what's happening with too small budgets, and have never actually been able to scale anything out of it. But like you said, you try, you fail, you relearn.
Yeah. So for instance, we have a partnership with Engie, big energy company. And I think we were at a point, I think we had 5 points of breaking up the partnership. And in the end, we found a way to make the partnership work. But it cost us like hard discussions and a lot of change of management.
Yeah.
And we didn't change their management, by the way. But
you got their management changed? How did you do that?
yeah. No, if only. No.
Yeah.
No. So what we're trying to do is for us, the building is just a means to create a coalition of the willing. And if you look at the companies, most of them, like 80% of the companies on our list, were already there. The only thing that we did is we concentrated them. And this is what you see that corporate also need, is they need like a concentration and they need skills. So they need people able to talk about.
Exactly. And you need within the corporations, you need to people that understand the laws and the lawmakers and respect them, but then break those laws with them. Because just like with usual innovation, I mean, we've done a lot of corporate innovation with our customers, and you have no idea how many times we figure out, how do we keep this under the radar of the management until we absolutely have to tell them? And I think the same thing should be done with circular initiatives, because right now, I mean, if we're waiting for the top management to say, okay, let's start these circular initiatives or these circular businesses, and we believe they are businesses, I think that, you know, we're going to be too late, and some other people will go faster than them.
Yeah, exactly. So to give an example, what we did in the Netherlands, it's illegal to get coffee grounds and grow mushrooms out of it. The business case exists anyway. This is a pretty famous business case. But officially, you have to be a waste management company. So there's a company that founded Blue City. It's called Rotterdam. So they collect these coffee grounds, but they're not even a food company. They're a waste management company.
Yeah.
So it's officially what they do is illegal. And you can imagine, like, for now it's okay, but they're now scaling up. And what they did is they actually invited, like, the government to showcase this entire case as a stakeholder, to think along and to move along. So, and this is also for all the new materials. So like all the parties there work together with us. And what we do is we also launch corporate programs and challenges. So what we do, for instance, in a very playful way, is organize circular challenges, and where companies actually give their waste flows, and we analyze them. We put teams on them, like with all the universities, for TU Delft and Wageningen, for instance, depending on the waste flow, and we create new products and we bring them to the market. So this is in a nutshell what Blue City does.
Yeah, and you've been there from the beginning.
I've been there from the beginning.
What tips would you have for somebody that is thinking about starting a circularity hub here in Finland? Don't.
Don't buy a water park.
Don't buy a water. Serena.
Yeah, something a bit easier, like a theater, for instance. No. What I would say is start with the energy that's already there. So for instance, in Finland, in this case, I would definitely take as a core the wood and the cellulose business. For instance, that's a really interesting one to start with. Look at all those companies, look at the energy, and start using that, and start collecting. A coalition of the willing. That's one start. So only don't make a 2-pager. A 3-pager at most, but that's it.
Yeah.
Find an investor and just go and start. So that's another one. Don't subsidize too much. It's really important to be financial, because we're now break even after year 3. So this is also very, that's the economic part of this one. What else? Don't be afraid to fail.
Don't find a water park.
Don't find a water park.
Good. I think we're out of time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.